Okay, let's dive into this glorious train wreck. We're talking about Brookfield Properties, a real estate behemoth with more money than God. But we're going to see how one single pissed-off cop in one of their fancy-ass high-rises might just be pulling the thread that unravels their whole goddamn empire.
Right. So this whole shit show kicks off with a guy named Alan, who happens to be a cop, hearing a noise that just won't quit. You know, a little clicking sound. But as he starts to dig, that one tiny click snowballs into this horrifying realization that he's living in a fucking fire trap run by a bunch of corporate crooks.
So here's the game plan for this absolute masterpiece of corporate fuckery. We're going to start with our hero, Detective Alan, and his annoying clicking wall. Then we're going to zoom way out to a level of negligence so massive it'll make your goddamn head spin.
All right, so how do we get here? How did this all kick off? Well, you've got to understand this isn't just about a broken air conditioner. No. This is about a systematic, predatory con. So check this out. It starts with a click. That click leads to a complaint. And that complaint leads to the sickening realization that the entire building is a tinderbox and the con is coming from inside the goddamn house. Alan didn't just find a maintenance issue. He literally stumbled into a full-blown conspiracy.
And here's the kicker, the crucial point. Brookfield wasn't just his landlord. Oh no, they were also his crooked utility company, Metergy. So they're double dipping while his walls are humming with enough juice to start a bonfire. See, his apartment is right next to the elevator machine room, and his bill is suspiciously high. It is a textbook conflict of interest, designed to screw the tenant from every possible angle.
Okay, now this is where it gets really fun. Let's stop thinking about clicking sounds and start thinking about cash. Because fixing this level of corner-cutting, systemic incompetence, well, it's going to cost a fucking fortune.
So we ran the numbers, and the bill for just this one building is absolutely staggering. You've got $15 million for the electrical work alone because, and get this, standard insurance policies have what's called an ordinance or law exclusion. You know what that means? It means when you build a fire trap that violates city code, your insurance company tells you to go fuck yourself. The cost to fix it is all on you, you cheap bastards.
$32 million. That is the price tag for their staggering incompetence on one single building, all because they were too cheap to wire their luxury apartments correctly. And trust me, we are just getting warmed up.
And this is where the story gets really scary. Because what if the Eugene isn't just some one-off screw-up? What if this is just how Brookfield does business across their entire global empire?
I mean, just look at their portfolio. It's this globe-trotting collection of shiny, expensive real estate. We're talking five-star hotels, luxury resorts, you know, the kind of places that look absolutely flawless on a postcard. But what if behind that shiny facade, this systemic, corner-cutting bullshit is just how they operate everywhere? What if every single one of these premier assets has its own Detective Alan just waiting to find the faulty wiring? You know, we don't even have to guess. They tell us themselves. Their own financial reports give us a target number for just one little slice of their portfolio. 57 properties in their Core Plus collection. So let's do some simple, absolutely terrifying math. If every single one of those properties is as shoddily built as the Eugene, what does that bill look like? And boom, here's the answer. Over $1.8 billion. Now, to put that in perspective for you, their distributable earnings, that's the actual cash they can give to their rich-ass shareholders, was about $6 billion last year. This one systemic fuck-up could literally vaporize a third of their profits. All of a sudden, their whole operation looks fragile as hell.
But hey, why stop there, right? Let's take this to its logical conclusion. Let's imagine the absolute worst financial cataclysm for these bastards. What is the maximum possible damage this one cop and his clicking wall could inflict?
At this point, we've moved way beyond faulty wiring. We're talking about a total corporate implosion. Class action suits from every tenant they've ever screwed. A federal probe into their utility grift. Their stock price taking a nosedive straight into the abyss. The whole shebang.
So when you add it all up, the repairs, the fines, the lawsuits, the market cap just getting annihilated, you get a number so big, it's basically a declaration of war on their balance sheet. $11.5 billion. That, my friends, is how much it costs to be this greedy and this stupid.
So, with all of that swirling around, let's zoom back in on our hero, Detective Alan. What are his actual chances of bringing these cons to justice and, getting paid?
Well, we ran the data through our totally legit, not at all made up on the spot analytical model, right? So we started with the basic idea that a single tenant has almost no shot against a giant like Brookfield. But then we started feeding it the evidence. The 311 complaints, the smoking gun of the utility scam, the other tenants banding together. And the model, well, it started to light up like a damn Christmas tree. His chances are, to put it mildly, pretty fucking good. 85%. And you know why? Because he didn't just complain. He did the police work. He gathered evidence. He found witnesses. And he exposed the entire conspiracy. And what's his potential payout for being the guy who pulled that first thread? Well, it's nothing to sneeze at. We're estimating about $250,000 for damages, rent abatement, and just a little something extra for being the tip of the spear in this whole goddamn fight. So, here's the bottom line. This entire empire of shit could come crumbling down, all because they were too cheap and arrogant to fix one tenant's faulty AC unit. It is a beautiful karmic symphony of corporate self-destruction.
Which really just makes you wonder, doesn't it? What ticking time bomb is your landlord ignoring right now? That weird noise, that flickering light, that bill that seems just a little too high? Maybe it's nothing. Or maybe it's the loose thread you need to pull to bring the whole rotten structure crashing down. So pay attention.